Hey pool fans, welcome back to another video. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the break shot. First things first, where do we put the rack and where do we put the cue ball? Now the tour is using a break box. Let me just show you where the rack goes. The one ball used to be on the spot. The one ball, or to find the spot, is level with the middle diamonds. Now it's the 9 ball on the spot. So we just go a little bit higher, quickly set them up for you. And there you see the 9 ball is on the spot. It's level with the middle diamonds. How do we find the break box? Well, it's very simple. The spot where the 9 ball now goes, you literally find this diamond, draw a line straight through the spot, little mark, draw it straight back to the rail. That is your break box. Tip 1, the stance. I see so many amateur pool players standing like they're gonna pot a ball. That's a big no-no because you can't generate the power. So here's me trying to pot the ball. I'm very rigid, no movement. Turn your whole body to the side, get your feet, get your legs facing the pack, facing the cue ball. Most of the weight is on my lead leg, so my left leg. And that allows me upon break to just push with the right leg and get the full body through the ball, which is gonna generate loads of power. Now, where do you put your hand? There's no written rule with the exact distance, but what I would look out for and be very careful is A, you're not too close to the ball. So for instance, my cue, I just can't get enough power because it's too close to the cue ball. And if my hand is too far back, yeah, I could generate absolutely a ton of power, but the problem with that is from where my hand is to the cue ball, the cue has got too much time to move. You could miscue, you could chip the cue ball off the table. So there's a bit of a kind of unwritten rule where you just find that sweet spot. Years and years of practice, I just feel like for me, that is where I can generate most power. Have it a go, you will see when you're breaking and practicing. Okay, now to the break shot. I've put the cue ball as far into the corner of the box as possible. You're going to aim pretty much half ball on the 1, so I'm going to aim around full ball on the 9. Trying to pop the 1 in this side pocket, cue ball off the side rail and back into the pack. That's what you're trying to do. Yeah, not bad. A little bit low on the 1 ball, but the main thing is I got the 1 ball in the side. That is rule number 1, always trying to pop the 1 in the side pocket. When you're breaking the balls, the cue ball and the pack will tell you all you need to know about breaking good. So I'm going to break a few different situations here and we're going to talk about where I've hit on the cue ball. So if you imagine the cue ball and we draw the center line across the middle of the cue ball, I'm trying to aim slightly just below that line, only ever so slightly, because if I hit quite high above the line, the cue ball will fly off the table. And if I hit too low, the cue ball will draw up towards the table. So I'm going to show you a few instances and then you'll see what I mean. So if you can imagine the center line to the cue ball, I'm going to purposely hit way above that line. The cue ball is going to start bouncing around the table and it can even fly off. Like that. Now this is something else to look out for. This time I'm going to purposely hit the cue ball too low, which is going to put draw on the white ball. It's going to come off the side rail and then it's going to arc across the table. Trying to hit here, but it's very dangerous because I've got a chance of scratching in the middle. And if I put too much draw on it, the cue ball can go in this corner. So this is what happens when I hit way low, below that center line. You see the draw? It was actually going there, it flicked and went in this pocket. Very dangerous because I'm losing the cue ball. See, the cue ball drew off the side rail. Luckily this time it hit this rail. Very, very dangerous break. This time I'm going to try and nail the perfect break. I'm going to try and hit tiny little bit below the center line of the cue ball, a little bit of right hand spin. So when the cue ball comes off this side rail, it comes straight back towards the pack area, pop the one in the side, and I'm braking at my maximum power. So let's have a go at this. There you see the cue ball come off the side rail perfect, back into the pack, and I made the one ball. Unluckily, I've no shot, but at least I made a good break. There's two types of breaks that I've been watching all the pros use. There's 3 or 4 players that are breaking full speed, powerful hard cut break. Basically, the cue ball's going to come off the side rail, fly back into the stack. I'm going to pop the one in the side, but because I'm using full power, I've got more chance of making another random ball. Not an easy break to do at all because I'm going full power. There you could see the one ball flew straight in, all the other balls are flying around the table, and a pretty decent split. But when you're breaking at full power, you're in danger of not hitting the cue ball exactly where you want. Now I'm going to show you the break most of the pros are playing on tour. It's the 75–80% softer cut break. Still powerful, but not as powerful as the pros can hit it. So the idea is here to still pop the one ball in the side. Cue ball comes off the side rail and slightly arcs below the 9, or a lot of the times hits the 9 ball. And the reason why the players are using this one is because they feel more confident to keep making this one in the side. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, the world #1, he's the best player in the world at this break. Let's see if I can do the same. Overdrew the cue ball a little bit, but not a bad break, but you could see the cue ball, it kind of arcs off. Very good break indeed. Yeah, that's Sanchez-esque. Okay, so I've shown you guys a few things to look for. This is what the pros are doing on the circuit when they're breaking. Now, I'm going to hit a load of breaks and I'm going to explain what's happened after the break, if it's a good break, a good enough break, if I've hit it too thin, too much draw. So here's break number 1. Got lucky, made the one ball, but I hit the pack a little bit too thin. The reason I know that is because the one hit too low. So when you're hitting the pack too thin, the one ball will always go too low, so you're not going to make it in the side pocket. You could see the cue ball bounced along the rail, come back in, I hit way above the centre line. This is break number 3, but now you can see just by watching the other 2 breaks that when you're breaking, it will tell you a story. The break shot will tell you all you need to know. So let me hit another one. That was dreadful. Way too thin. Whenever the cue ball comes low near the corner pocket, usually stays down the bottom end, often it scratches and the balls just don't split as good. I hit that break way too thin. It was a little thin, but because it was powerful, I made the one. I got a little bit lucky that the cue ball kicked back out, but you can see after I hit each break, I know what's going on. I know what's a good break and what's a bad break. It tells me so much. Too much draw, a little bit too thin. Nearly made it, but I had too much draw. I hit way too low on the cue ball. This is not easy. Didn't make the one ball, but because I was using the power break, I got lucky and made a random ball. That wasn't bad. Didn't get the cue ball back into the pack, but that sort of 75% draw break, I seem to make the one ball a lot more consistently. Again, I made the one ball, but I'm just losing the cue ball a bit too much. I need to aim a little bit thinner. That is the break the world number 1 uses. He arcs the cue ball below the 9 and makes the 1 in the side. That was a very good break. Even though the cue ball got kicked, I didn't put any side on it. I just aimed a little bit lower on the cue ball, made the 1, the cue ball arced back towards the pack. That is the perfect break. There's a few tips and tricks to help you when you are breaking. Don't forget, after you've broke, look at what the balls have done, look where the 1 ball's gone, look where the cue ball's going, and that will help you improve when you're breaking at 9-ball pool. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've liked this video. More to come, as always. I'll see you in the next one. I was always a TV player. Right under the cushion, just nailed it there.